welcome. Welcome to my live stream, everyone. This is Dale Lakeman. This is about me and about how the RCMP harassed me. And this, in particular, is about the Cst Simms complaint. Cst Simms harassed me. He is a constable in Fillmore in 2018, and he harassed me for quite a while. And on the way, all the way into March 2021. So he harassed me for continuously for 3 years, non-stop, on either a daily, semi-daily, or weekly basis, or any time in particular that I was in Fillmore. Constable Cst Simms harassed me personally. He harassed me. This is Constable Cst Simms. He drives all kinds of vehicles. I don't know. At the time, he was driving a white BMW. And he almost killed me head on. He drives like a maniac. Several people had been reporting him for a long time, driving in the BMW at high rates of speed and driving recklessly and dangerously, endangering people and passing. And he was passing between Sedley and Francis. He was headed towards Regina. So he was headed towards Regina. I was headed towards Fillmore, and he passed by Sedley, just before Sedley, and he passed 3 vehicles at one time at a high rate of speed, recklessly endangering my life, drove me off the road into the ditch. I chased him, recorded his license plate number, reported him to the RCMP in Regina, Saskatchewan, to the RCMP at the headquarters. And so then he began to gang stalk me, him and this other officer there, Keith Kosher, at the same time. Keith Kosher was harassing me for 13 years so far. And so that's what's been happening. And it's RCMP, police brutality. And so it was Cst Simms that we're talking in particularly about right now today. And how Cst Simms, he broke the laws. He drove recklessly. He endangered people's lives, not just mine. Lots of people reported him driving in the white BMW at high rates of speed. And so he gang stalked me, and that's a matter of an actual fact. And here in this, really quickly now, you have to watch quickly, you see him stalking me just before Kosher harasses me and does the illegal registration check. But here's Cst Simms in his white BMW. Quickly, look, watch. Watch. And so you see him go by, and he is driving at a high rate of speed, because I had just started up my engine or drove into my yard. I don't know. I have the rest of the videos in sequence, the videos before and after. And he was stalking me. And that's on the day on right in September, or whatever it was, September like 4th or 5th or something, 1st, something like that. Right around there, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. That's what happened. And so this is Cst Simms again. We'll quickly look again. Look again. You'll see a white BMW. That's him. And so, due to the fact that I complained about him driving like a maniac and almost killing me, he began to harass me as well, right? Because he had something to hide. And there's no question about that. And another thing is that I put in a complaint against him, and an RCMP sergeant answered the question, and answered the question correctly, because he was being candid. And so this is RCMP Sergeant, oh, darn, I'm going to have to remember his name again. Darn.
The only other question I'd like to ask you is, if you mind giving your opinion on this, do you think that uniformed RCMP members should investigate complaints against other RCMP members? Do you think that if I complain about the police, do you think that a uniformed RCMP member should come and investigate a complaint?
Against that person, like you're talking public complaint?
Yeah. Do you think uniformed RCMP officers... He said no.
Says no. He says no. That's what he says. He says no. The other RCMP uniform officers shouldn't come and investigate complaints against officers, because it really just doesn't work, right? It doesn't really go very well. It doesn't go very well. You know what I mean? It's not the way that it should be done, right? It should be somebody else, right? And we know that for a fact, right? We know that for a fact. That shouldn't be done that way. And so then we continue now with John Simms and the John Simms complaint. So, I mean, the guy was harassing me because Keith Kosher was harassing me and RCMP were harassing me. So I think this was John Simms. I think this was John Simms. I would go for a walk down the highway, or either just go for a walk and just walk down the highway. But this car goes by, this little blue Ford car goes by, and it turns around in front of all these cars and then stops on the highway. It immediately turns around recklessly and dangerously. And so when it went by, I thought, well, that's Simms. That's Simms going by. I didn't know who that was for sure, but I'm thinking that was either Simms or Jen Koser, but I'm not sure. So I'm not saying exactly for sure who that was. But if you know that vehicle, then you know who that was. And if you know Fillmore, then you know that vehicle, because it's a small town. You know all these vehicles, and you know who that was. So I'm thinking it was either one of those two, but I'm pretty sure it was Simms, but it might not have been Simms, but it might be Simms. But this was for sure Simms harassing me.
Was because I didn't want to include everybody else.
There's no question about that one.
That's the fucking Preston or Kosher, one of the two, harassing me again here. So we're gonna scoot through this yard. There is no trespassing signs. So I'm running through this yard.
And so I was walking.
What
he drives by me really slow, looking at me, staring at me.
Oh, I was just driving down.
And I knew, well, he's going to turn around and come right back. That's what he's going to do.
Right now.
But there was other people that I didn't want to film. I just said, well, those people, those other cars, I just don't want to film them, because they were looking at me too. And they said, seen him drive by looking at me, right? And so they slowed down. So everybody was there. So I thought, well, he's going to turn down here and come up and then turn around and come up behind me. But no, he went down to my place, almost to my place by the church there. And then he turned around and came back down Main Street, straight back down Main Street. So it was pretty obvious that he was trolling me. Do you know what I mean? It's pretty obvious, but he didn't think that I had my camera. And so when he saw that I had my camera, then he turns away right away. But I thought that he would turn and then come back around and come up behind me.
I think I'm going to have to record.
But no, he just turned around and came straight back down Main Street, right?
They think that
I was thinking that he was going to turn around and be a little
I think I'm going to record everybody.
But no, he was being totally obvious that he was driving by me and then turning around and driving right back by me. And that's the way Simms was. He's totally obnoxious, right? He just was totally right out in the open harassing me. But I was not thinking about that. I was thinking about Kosher harassing me. I was thinking, what the fuck? But no, they all started targeting me as soon as I complained about Kosher. As soon as I complained about Kosher, boy, because they knew that he was harassing me more so individually, right? The other ones were just kind of on the fringe. But Jones and Simms just totally, because they were rookies, they just went right on me. Henninger said to me one day,
what I told you?
He said, I thought you, he says, I know you're a good guy. Right? And so he was a little bit further back, but then he started harassing me directly too. Same time.
Exactly what I said.
The same way.
Time for another complaint.
He was harassing me. So it's kind of strange, but we're going to keep going here. We got some videos that you guys want to see. But this is about the Simms complaint. And Simms, I was walking on Main Street, and Simms, because it was a white BMW, And I had complained about the RCMP fucking trying to kill me with this white BMW. Well, I turned it, and I have the video somewhere, but I still haven't looked it up. And I will look it up. I promise you, I'll bring you a whole bunch more of new videos again. But there are some new videos coming up. You'll be surprised at this one. Because Simms accuses me of pointing a laser pointer at him anonymously, right? And so they come to investigate this. And they're banging on my door. And I said, fuck, I'm not being trapped in my garage here when these guys are banging on my door. These two RCMP, Simms and Henniger, come to my door. So as soon as they left, I left. And then they come back to the barracks because they were sitting out there watching me, right? So I come to the barracks, and this is what happens when I get to the barracks. I'm talking to Joe.
It's on right now.
This is what happens,
looking at you,
right?
You're looking at it.
Yeah, but so like when you point that, does it?
Well, I mean, it looks like red. In the nighttime, it would look red. Hey, man!
I was just over your house.
Are you serious?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Well, I'm glad you went there, because maybe you'll scare the bad guys away. But you know what she said? She told me it might...
Yeah, and so I was talking to Jones, and of course, she notices, well, when you point it at somebody, it flashes red. I said, it's red right now. You can see it's turned on. She's like, oh. And so then, but before this, I didn't turn it on quick enough, right? I should have turned it on a little quicker. But she says, and I have another video where she does say that, she says that it was him. It was him that... I'm going to have to look up all these GoPro videos again because I know I have more videos of this. That she says that it was him that drives a white BMW, right? And then, of course, when I turn my camera off for a split second, Henniger says, yeah, we get complaints all the time about a white BMW. It's a woman. But meanwhile, watch, because Simms jumps behind Henniger, right? He jumps in behind Henniger and hides, right? And then then Henniger, he doesn't realize still. And so when I'm talking to Henniger here a few seconds later,
so
right?
when you're driving at
We
night,
got another
this
video
lens
there
looks red.
still in between. Yeah, and so it only looks like, it flashes red, right? And that's why it flashes red, right? But see, that's the problem. And then see, Simms, he couldn't give it up. He still wants to harass me, right? And so my neighbor or somebody phones and says that I'm revving up my engine or I'm drunk or something in my yard. When I had the engine started up, I was draining the gas tank so that I could take the fuel petcock out and clean it and change the fuel filter. And also, I wanted to try to service the gauge, but the gauge thing was broken, right? So I never did fix the fuel gauge. Pardon me. But my throat is dry. But the thing is that I had started up my bike and had it running for like 5 minutes. And then I thought, well, okay, I'm going to drive it around in my yard one time. So I didn't even leave my yard, but I only drove almost to the front yard of my yard. I didn't even leave my yard. And they said that I was driving around drunk on the street or something. So one of my neighbors phoned up and lied and created a false bullshit thing. Or else, well, it was in collusion with John Simms, obviously, because Simms has no reason to come there and even talk to me, right? He did the same thing as fucking Kosher does. Tries to do a false traffic thing on me, right?
Your window down yet?
And he's just a lying piece of shit, Simms
Not much,
is. That's all he is.
It's a beautiful storm. Isn't that rank? I enjoyed watching you play baseball.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for coming out.
No kidding.
It was my first game in a while. So
Really?
A little rusty.
But you're playing for a beer league.
Yeah, so I had called the RCMP and told them because I had seen Simms drinking and then driving.
Not much anything else in there. How's the highway?
He shouldn't even be in a drinking and driving league.
Raining up until maybe past here.
Did it rain like at all, or
And
just
so you
like
notice it was a
No,
storm.
raindrops?
It was like pretty big raindrops. But then I got here and there's nothing.
Yeah, but the road wasn't wet though, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, there was
so-
like about 20 drops. I caught probably about 3 of them in my mouth, and I started to go out there. I was going to go out in the field
Yeah.
and try to record some lightning.
Yeah.
I'm scared of coyotes.
Yeah, I wouldn't go out there.
Well, that's the thing. See, now, everything's coming out to cool off and to get the water, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So the rabbits will be out there, and all the coyotes come out to chase the rabbits, and the foxes will be out there.
Yeah, and they come out in packs too, right? So.
Well, yeah, especially, there is a big pack that roams right here, eh?
Oh, really?
Like right here next to my place.
Did you get them on video?
Nope, they won't come in my yard though. They don't like the smell of a human. That's the only thing. But there's lots of turds there, eh?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and those are coyote turds. Because it looks like dog turd, only it's got a lot of hair in it.
Oh, okay.
Because they eat a lot of hair too. Yeah, if you look there, right there. I think it's because of this low brush, those willows. But it sure is nice. Man, it's a nice cool breeze.
Yeah, it's pretty to look at. I wonder when we're going to get rain here, though.
Never.
You don't think
Like,
so?
seriously, man, no. No, there's no rain coming here, though.
Oh, so it should. It was east and Stoughton, and it looks like it's raining further west. So.
Like, it's a big wind storm, but it just seems like by Sedley or Tyven, and then to what the heck's that other one? Francis. But it never gets here. Between here and Creelman, no rain. No rain. It sure would. It sure would, because people could have a barbecue decently. Somebody had a fire going, like a pit or something, eh? Because you could smell wood burning.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, as long as the wind isn't blowing so hard. But did you feel that wind? There's a great big wind about 25 minutes ago, and it was just huge. Like, I mean, it blew so bad, the dust came like big.
They were all drinking.
Into the sky.
They were all drinking and
like,
having a
that's what I'm
party.
afraid of, is a
And
night
so when I had
tornado,
my bike running, I think they
Because it's
just
too
decided
hot,
to fucking phone
and
the
there's
cops
no
on me to have
moisture
some entertainment.
to stop that electrostatic charge.
Yeah.
Did you see the sky the other day? There's a big circle in the sky around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was huge, man. I did a video on that. It was beautiful. Other than that, I don't know. It's pretty dead around here.
I heard you had your bike going earlier.
Yeah, I started my bike. Ran out of gas.
Were you fixing it, or?
No. I just started it up, had a little drive, like to the end of the driveway.
Oh,
That's it. No plates, man.
Oh, no, please.
That's all I need is like a freaking $10,000 fine. My bike get impounded.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford it, man.
Someone called earlier saying that they heard you revving it and stuff.
Really?
But
Too bad. They should have came out and enjoyed the,
that's what I said.
like,
I said, well, did you tell him to stop earlier? No.
Well, put it this way. My neighbor starts his truck and has it idling all winter at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I came out, I'd be way more scared if you could pull out your gun and point it at me.
77256.
Anyways, see you later, man.
All right.
Have a great night.
Be safe. Take care.
Take care.
All right, you too.
Go get somebody that really is in trouble or causing shit. All I did was start my bike and drive in my yard, man. I wouldn't can't afford the tickets.
And that's what I said. As long as it's not excessive, like,
Like, seriously? You should watch that guy for drinking and driving. See you, man.
We'll do RT.
Have fun.
All right, thanks.
Go get some drunks. See you, man. Peace.
So you can hear at the end, the radio dispatch is suggesting an urgent call for people that are driving recklessly on the highway. And you can hear that, right? The RCMP dispatch is saying, there's people driving recklessly on 33 highway, urgent call for people that are driving at a high rate of speed out of the city, recklessly, passing people. And here Simms is, he drove in, he said he drove fast, and it was raining, blah, 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 to get here. He drove all that way to get to me. He specifically drove to get here, he says. Get here. That's what he says. And my neighbor said that I was revving my engine. Well, that's not even true. That's not true. I started the engine on the choke. I turned the choke off. I let it idle. And I drove it to the end of the fucking driveway where it ran out of gas. And then I rolled it backwards, as a matter of fact, back down the driveway. That's how far I went, like 15 feet. And of course, he admits that he drinks in a beer league. It's a beer baseball league. What else does he say? Oh, remember, there's a storm coming in. There's a storm coming in, right? There's a storm coming in. And I said, I have no plates, right? I have no plates. That's another key thing, right? So I said that. And so he is in some kind of false thing that maybe I would even try to drive with no license plates or anything like that, right? He thinks that I would even dare to drive, to risk financial or criminal charges and have my vehicle towed away by these idiots and drive with no license, with no plates on my motorcycle. And so that's why, Kolscher thinks I'm an idiot too. He thinks I would drive with no fucking license plates, right? So they're all trying to hit me with some kind of shit. Well, I didn't even leave my yard, right? For another thing. He has no reason to be there, is the other thing. He drove there. There's an urgent call for service for some actual legitimate reason. And he's a piece of shit. And it's my neighbors that are phoning the police on me. But Simms is a weirdo. He was stalking me. And so I'm gonna play this next video, but I'm just gonna say a few things. So there was a storm that night. The next day, I go outside. I'm walking around because it was really windy. It wasn't that rainy, but it was really windy, right? So I went walking around, and I had mowed my lawn 2 days before. So, I was walking around to see if anything blew over. And I looked, and I had a no trespassing sign stapled with like 6, 10, 15, 20 staples. It was stapled. There was no way that was going to tear off. It was one of those plastic no trespassing signs stapled to the corner of my fence, in the front of the foundation. Somebody has taken that. That sign was gone, and it was on the ground, and there was a bird on top of the sign. The sign wasn't blown around in the wind. There was a dead bird on top of the sign. There was a dead bird on top of the sign, and it was laying on the grass, and it was placed there distinctly right by where the sign was on the ground, on the fence. Do you know what I mean? Adjacent to where it was supposed to be on the fence. But the bird was on top of the sign, totally 100% on top. There was no way that the sign caught on the bird, but I had mowed the grass, so I knew there should be no dead bird. And so I'm looking around, I'm going, well, it fell out of a tree. And it's like, no, it wasn't that kind of a dead bird. It was shot with a pellet gun because it had a hole in its chest. Okay, so it was shot either with a pellet or a low powered gun, a rifle, 22 caliber, maybe 32 caliber, I'd say 22 at the most, right? It was shot, and it was on top of the sign, so it was placed there directly. And so I saw these guys, of course, and this is what they always do. They would hang out in front of me, or they would drive by, and they would stop in front of me. And so I saw these two, Jones and Henninger, on the street right by the store, because I'm walking to the store. They drive by and they stop in front of me and they get out of their vehicle. And so I stopped and I talked to them.
And they left me a little message. They tore down my video surveillance sign, and they wrapped up a dead bird in one of my signs and left it there. But they were way past the corner of my foundation is, right?
Oh,
so I couldn't see it, but I could, you know what I mean? I know they were there, and they left this dead bird there.
It's still there?
Well, I picked it up. I was going to show it to people, but I can show you where they left it.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean, though? And so that's kind of like...
Are you sure it wasn't just the wind, maybe? Because it was pretty windy last night. No?
Those signs have been there for a long time, and they were delivered with ripped off.
Oh, okay. How were they held up?
Like 60 staples. I put so many staples in that they would not do that.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so somebody is like, see, that's like a strange kind of way to,
yeah.
that's a strange
I don't know if
thing.
anyone, it just seems unusual
kind of strange,
for anyone to...
kind of psycho. to have a dead bird, and to have the dead bird and to wrap it up in my sign after you tear it off. Those signs have been there for a long time. And in fact, I've taken them down and like the sign with the board still and moved them. They've been there for years and they
Nothing
haven't
on your
came
video system?
No, they're not. It's not. Because I'll tell you, that's why I'm so worked up right now. Because I've been looking at that video since the last 2 hours.
So they tore your no trespassing sign on?
Yep. 2 of them. And they came right into my yard. Right, you know where the wall is. Okay, I had a no trespassing video sign right there, and they came all the way around that corner there.
Okay.
And I have a camera there.
And what about the bird?
Yeah, the bird was right by the no trespassing, by the video sign. So that's and I know, that bird wasn't there yesterday because I mowed my lawn yesterday and did all that, and the signs were all fine. And then even last night when I went down there last night before the storm, okay, and then when the lightning and the rain, then after that my cameras were fogged up. But I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Is there an injured bird over there?
No,
somebody took this
tore
bird.
signs down and left a dead bird in his yard.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So it's kind of like a mafia kind of threat as far as I'm concerned.
Is that Hell's Angel? No, that's not Hell's Angel. That's done now, you think? Or you don't know?
I don't wear my patch anymore. I haven't talked to them. You know, who knows? Who knows? Because they're petty. If that's the kind of people who do that, is pettiness.
Yeah.
Like to me honestly, if you have an issue, you know,
just talk about it. And that's nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
Over, man.
All right, I'll start a file just so we have something for information purposes.
And the thing is that
it's documented.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying to you is I feel threatened. Okay. By that.
Where was it
now,
again? What part of your house? What part of your house?
Okay, you know where the wall is, where the foundation is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I have that wall built there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so they came right to that corner and tore those signs out right there in my yard. Well in my yard. Between the hedges, right there.
What time
right
was it?
After 1:30, right? Storm ended at 1:30.
Okay, so sometime after that. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll start doing some patrols by the back alley.
Well, I'll document it on a file just so we have some
but
info.
Do you understand if someone did that to you or someone did that to any citizen?
No, I understand.
It's kind of creepy, right?
Well,
and so, how do you respond to people like that? You know what I mean? You protect yourself.
Yeah, we have no other evidence of who it was.
That's the right of the citizen to defend themselves in any way responsible without
well, yeah, but
you can't do that.
Okay, so listen.
Reasonable force, though, right?
Yeah. So listen to me. Listen to me. I will rely on you as these officers to protect me and
yes,
guard
you call 911 right away if you're concerned about something
understand
like that.
me, right?
Yeah, we do.
So remember, I'm a dog with my tail between my legs. I will run away from danger.
Ruff, 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 ruff. I'm a dog. Ruff, ruff. I'm gonna run away. Ruff, ruff, ruff. Bark and run.
Yeah,
the puppy.
We all live 5 minutes away, right?
You know what I mean, though.
Oh, I know what you mean. Man.
Okay, because I'm trusting in good.
We'll start making some patrols.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah, we'll document
No
it,
regrets.
and that way.
No regrets on persons.
You have to call us first, though.
You understand what I mean?
Yep.
You got her, buddy.
But if somebody attacks me, I'm got to defend myself.
Yeah, but call us in the meantime. Call us. I'll talk to you later.
You do understand that how it is for you.
Oh yeah.
And how it is for me, though.
No, I know exactly what
right?
you're saying.
You have to know that I have to defend my rights.
Put your camera away. I don't like it when you videotape things.
I already recorded this whole conversation.
Okay.
See you guys. Thanks, man.
No worries. Take care, buddy.
See you. We have to defend ourselves, don't we, right? Because I trust you guys. See you, brothers, sister. Happy day. If it was you that did that, then you know what I mean, right? See ya.
See, because I really think it might have been Simms, but I think it may have been Henninger. And then I think, well, it might be Kosher. Any one of those could do that kind of a thing. And it was, see, they never let me fully say anything. And of course, I was like, nervous because I wanted to just say it, tell them what the hell's going on. But they knew, right? And you could tell the way Henninger reacts. He doesn't react like as if anything's out of the normal to that kind of stuff, right? You know what I mean? And so that was the thing. They had already started to be gangsters towards me, right? And so Simms, in that video too, of course, I had said that I would not drive without plates, right? Plates, right? Plates, right? And so that's why, hey, that's why he's stalking me, right? That's why he's stalking me. That's why he's stalking me, because he thinks I would drive, because I said I wouldn't drive without plates. He thinks I would. That's the kind of unreasonable reasoning that they do. They do unreasonable reasoning, right? They don't reason the same way you reason. If you tell them the truth, they think you're lying. But if you're lying to them, they think you're telling the truth, because they're like, well, that's just too unreal. Like Gary and Lorna, they're like, oh, well, he's threatening us. That's why we have to say we're going to kill him. Oh, okay. So then I'm going to like, okay, that's, it's the unreasonable reasoning. And if you're the unreasonable, well, then that's the reasoning that people go with. They go with, okay, well, that's the unreasonable reasoning. Let's go with that. Let's go with the unreasonable part of the reasoning. Don't go with the reasonable reasoning, right? Let's do the unreasonable reasoning. That's what they do. Unreasonable reasoning.
Where was I?
They don't believe in reasoning
I know where I was. I wasn't driving
in capacity of truth.
He did not observe me driving. Not even at all. What's he doing there? What's he doing there? Why is he running a license check on my vehicle when it's parked on my property and it's not being operated? Why is he even doing that? So you tell me. That one. There's another one of these when John Simms drives by 5 times, I recorded him. And then Melissa and John are having a conference, and I'm like, oh man, they draw attention to themselves so badly because they're so inexperienced in what they're doing. And then I drive down the road, I park, and I'm back an hour and a half later, and Sheldon's in my yard asking for a registration. I don't have to give him the registration legally, do I? No. I should just, what? How should I? You know what I told him?
Because if you're not driving, you have no reason.
I'm going to tell you.
Hello there.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good, how's you?
Not too bad. Hey, Dale, do you have a permit for your motorbike?
Of course I do.
Okay, I'll need to see it because you were
You have checked it with the SGI already, and you know.
Of course, I would say, as this well-experienced lawyer in the Public Complaints Commission would say, that
there's a systemic problem with accountability for police officers, and the Crown Prosecution Service is a major player in that.
The Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank